All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
we are recording. We are in the Asunder Dome. We have started recording on our microphones. We have got multiple different desktop video relays going on. We have freed up some disk drive space, and we are ready to lube it up and fuck right here live and recording for all of you.
And luckily that didn't take us like 45 minutes to accomplish.
Yeah.
Before we started recording.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we came in prepared. We had done this before. We had done a little mic check. Before we started recording here.
You know us.
Yeah.
We're always
the most
ready
prepared,
to go.
The most prepared men in shitty leftist podcasting. Yep. That's right. Anyway, Cameron, what the fuck is up, my dude?
Yeah, I mean, a lot's changed. I'm just going to get right into it. So I am, since last we spoke, I have been named King of the Mole People.
No.
And I know that we've talked in the past about, various political leanings. Needless to say, I'm rapidly realizing that I am a monarchist because being the king...
The divine right of kings.
It's cool, yeah. I'm searching for a wife, preferably someone among the mole nobility, with whom I am at least sexually compatible, so that we can start working to produce a male heir soon. Now, obviously, I'm getting on in years, and as you might
especially
guess,
mole years,
Well, I was going to say, the life expectancy of a mole person is substantially shortened. Lack of access to basic human needs. Having been denied them for centuries at this point. Now, that does bring me to my first order of business, which will, of course, be to erupt from the Earth at various strategic points and attempt to reclaim the surface world. But prior to doing that, I do want to make sure that the succession is stable and that I've got a viable male heir, which has proved slightly difficult. I'm taking some pages out of Elon Musk's book, and I've just been sending out mass emails looking for viable candidates. Now, that being said, I did
buying horses for people to jerk you off. Yeah.
Buying horses? Why would I buy a horse for a mole person? They live in subterranean tunnels. That's not something that they would even value.
That's between you and Elon Musk in these conversations that you've been.
I'm not talking to him. What do you? You're not even following the bit.
Okay, sorry.
Do you want me to slow down for you? So my point is, if I was going to bribe these mole women, why would I buy them a pack animal from the surface? Do they have any
below surface pack animals?
Yes.
Okay.
If you could listen for a second, what do you think? Slugs, giant slugs.
Okay, giant slugs.
So if I were to do something like that, it would be to buy them racing slugs. But believe it or not, I haven't yet fully unlocked access to the mole treasury. And guess what their money's called?
What's their money called?
Mole dollars. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Think it's something totally different.
I thought it was going to be
pesos?
like geodes. No, it's literally just mole dollars, mole bucks for short.
Now, as a completely despotic sicko that you are turning into, how is your harem of mole towel boys for usage in the hot springs coming?
You know what? It's funny. You would think that would have been one of the first things that I took care of.
Yeah, I mean, you have always loved Tiberius.
No, but what's actually kind of surprised me is how much clerical work there was to be done. The kingdom was in shambles. Okay. And despite its vast territory, I don't know how familiar. Before I get into mansplain this to you, how familiar are you with the mole wars of the 1950s?
I'm
sorry, their 1950s, which were our 1980s.
Yeah. I have something of less than passing interest in, so please, if you would like to explain to us.
So, I mean, to put it as succinctly as possible without doing disservice to the subject matter.
Was there a mole Hitler?
I'm sorry, Why are you asking in past tense? You may or may not be talking to mole Hitler right now, dude. Yeah. Believe it or not, things have already started to get a little shaky down there. But, where were we? Okay.
Yeah.
So their 1950s, our 1980s. So they took trickle-down economics a little differently because of the way that the water table works. And so there was an actual trickling down. Now, the problem is that a lot of that has been like chemical runoff and like pharmaceutical drugs that have seeped into, their kind of water supply. And what you end up with is like some pretty hideous mutations. Yeah. And that led
gonadal mutations.
Right. Yeah. So what we think of as the mole people, right? They're the mole people. But what ended up actually happening was a second great mole-ending, which pushed a second lower mutated subgroup of mole people to burrow underground from where the mole people are. And so they call those the mole people. They just call themselves the people.
But and they still call their dollars the mole dollars?
And we're surface dwellers. No. So the mole people no longer recognize currency. They've entered into what we would sort of see as like a post-scarcity sort of like a sci-fi communist society, not based around the teachings of Karl Marx.
Fully automated luxury gay Earth communism, you might say.
Yeah. Every man has
space there. Yeah.
Every man has an auto blow.
Hell yeah.
At least a V1.0, if not something more recent. So I digress. So after that whole issue, the separate warring mole kingdoms of the mole people, our mole people, they would just call the people, not the mole people. They'll come back later. Were unified under the rule of one dynasty. Now, you might be wondering, how did I manage to seize control?
Usurp their mole throne.
What you don't probably realize, I know that I've talked about getting sober a few years ago, and I've given a lot of reasons for that. But in reality, it had nothing to do with like personal growth, love of my family, reforging friendships, keeping my job. It was actually because I realized very quickly that if I wanted to work my way into the upper echelons of mole society, which I discovered on a long walk around my neighborhood looking into a storm drain that had ruptured, I found myself looking in, and I was staring into the bedchamber of one of the most beautiful yet pale and grotesque women I've ever seen, Princess of the Mole People.
You want to suck some mole titty,
And she basically said to me, well, they have 8. So
that's why I said some. I didn't say 1. I didn't say 2.
Yeah, you can suck some on one mole lady. There's an intense variety, and they're not regular in size or shape.
1 for every different day of the week, and 2 on Sunday.
Don't even get me started on mole weeks. Because, I mean, think about how much our sense of time revolves around the fact that...
they're deeper underground. They're closer to the Earth's crust, so time moves differently for them. I mean, the gravity well...
Yeah.
Deeper
well, they
the
also
Earth.
just don't have regular access to the sun. So the concept of a day doesn't really exist down there.
Yeah.
They're much more in tune with, like the geothermic cycles of the Earth and their own
sulfur pits.
Their circadian rhythms are strange. So anyway, we're getting off topic here. So what?
Some mole titty.
Do you have any? Like, it would actually help if you had some guiding questions. Oh yeah, okay. I mean, okay, I take that back because I realize your questions just would be no good. So, anyway, so I saw into the storm drain, and she whispered up to me, and she said, "Listen, I've heard you on your walks muttering to yourself about like opportunities and wishing you could have another job." And she said, I from what it looks like, you've got like a pretty substantial addiction to alcohol and fast food. If you could kick one, or preferably both, but like, let's be realistic, at least one of those, there might be an opening in the civil service in the Mole Kingdom. It would start part-time. You could work remote, and then, maybe you could work your way up. Now, unbeknownst to you and basically everyone around me, I working remote, and you would think I would have, I'd be more used to using Teams, but they actually don't use that in the mole world. They have a different app.
Yeah. PAX.
Yeah, Microsoft didn't make it down there. They have Microsoft. Yeah. And so they And so so anyway, I managed to work my way up through the hierarchy there, through like a cutthroat combination of like cutthroat business tactics, and then just actually, like, I did cut a few throats. It doesn't feel as bad when it's a mole person because I'm able to kind of, I don't feel like they're people. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
like
I was
killing a
raised
rat, you
to
know what I mean?
value
Yeah.
human lives, and while we do share common ancestry, they're so far removed in terms of, like, form and society that I imagine that I feel a lot like an American GI did in Vietnam, just, like, mowing down civilians, just like, you know what I mean? So I found myself in a situation where, through a mixture of luck and skill, I was able to slyly maneuver my way into being the main advisor of the old king, Zorgathax III, and I mean, who we now know to be last of his name. And basically, long story short, over the last week and a half, I finally sealed the deal on a plot to overthrow him with a coalition of generals and admirals. Believe it or not, they do have a navy. Yeah, the mud ships of the mole people are a sight to behold. And so we overthrew the ruling order. I was crowned emperor and began instituting a radical series of pretty violent reforms.
Have you taken a mole name? You know
I'm sorry?
what I mean? Like,
it's tough to pronounce. I'm still mastering the language. They communicate to each other in like a series of low-frequency hums and clicks. It would sound to you sort of like... But that, again, I'm working
very
on
different sounding than Zorgathax. That's interesting. I wonder how that transliteration
That's
came about.
a coincidence.
Yeah.
That's considered one of the easier names for humans to understand.
Okay.
You know? But it's also equivalent to like us saying Julius Caesar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Julius Caesar.
Right. You're picking it up.
Yeah. And so you're... Is that close?
No, it's more like... Yeah. So...
Okay.
But you know, they've never really mingled with the human world before, so they think, and I've not explicitly stated this, but I've kind of allowed the idea to flourish, that I'm some sort of divine being. Now, obviously, the princess knows otherwise, which is why she had to be imprisoned, and her execution is imminent. And I'm only comfortable talking about this because podcasts, they already had their big podcast bubble like 20 years ago down there, and they're over it. Nobody listens to them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're approaching that here, but nobody even listens down there. So I think it'll be
it's
okay.
already embarrassing up here. Yeah. So
yeah, it is already. I've taken it off my Hinge profile, and it used to get me dates, and now it prevents them. So I lie about it until like the third date.
Well.
No, I'm just kidding. I tell people about the show. I don't care.
Yeah.
I
mean,
like
it's
the
definitely
show.
also gotten me laid. So what's up?
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, something had to.
Yeah, that's right.
That
dude.
being said,
swinging and missing for a while before that, bud. You know,
speaking of
35-year-old virgin.
Speaking of, I might have a spot opening up in my cabinet if that's something that you're interested in, and we can obviously talk about details of that off air. But just know that there is room for
Can
reform.
it be nefarious?
Well, I would actually insist upon it. However, just know that I've already set up like a spy network of loyal mole insurgents.
No.
And I will have you under pretty heavy surveillance for a while, just because, like, knowing your political leanings, it remains to be seen whether you can be tempted away from communism by, like, just, like, abject material wealth. And, like,
and just unbelievable unrestrained brutality on masses
power
of people.
over, like, an existing population of servile subhuman.
Hunched little servile freaks,
Fucking troglodyte.
Yeah, just big white bulbous wet eyes with like
honestly
little pink beady fucking.
Even just bringing
pupils.
like a mag light down there, you can do a lot of like.
Oh yeah, you
damage.
could you can take out some retinas.
Yeah, something to consider. Yeah, I went down once wearing a headlamp, and they literally thought I was Mole Jesus, and that's not hyperbole.
Yeah,
that is what they call me now. Mm-hmm. But I mean, to them, they don't think that it's like derivative because they don't know about Earth Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Molges.
Anyway. So that's what's going on with you?
Yeah. Yeah, not much, man.
So what's happening,
yeah.
dude? How you been?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just working. Did some physical therapy today. You know what I mean? Just coming back from some not that fun stuff, but we're getting there. However, speaking of
Evan's been selling blood and semen on the side to make money, so he's been
Selling
getting milked.
dude, I
I've
just got pumps attached to me at all times, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Like, do you remember that video that Jordan Peterson posted of like dudes just getting milked in bed, and he thought it was some Communist Party of China milking chamber? That's like me 24/7, but also like blood and cum and I got one in my nose for snot. Yeah, I'm just like letting the plasma soar, but Dude, yeah, so speaking of like awful hunched disgusting beasts that are crawling out of some forbidden or forlorn cavern from a terrible corner of the earth, Braddock, Pennsylvania. Let's talk about fucking John Fetterman.
I know, he's losing his mind.
Dude, alright, because like obviously this is now a little bit old, we're coming at you recording May 14th. Didn't get a chance to record last week, but there are some absolute FetLife bangers coming out about John Fetterman.
Yeah.
Did you read the entire fucking New York Mag article?
No.
Oh my god. Dude. Alright, so first of all,
is that the one that you sent me the other day?
Yeah, well then there was a second one too. I think I sent you the second one where the second one like was him like screaming and crying like a baby because everybody hates him after the first one. Like, dude, his, like, just absolutely... So, alright, so obviously everybody knows John Fetterman. Yeah.
Fetterman in alleged meltdown? Yeah, why does everyone hate me?
Yeah, dude, just, like, literally apparently saying they're having a tantrum in his office.
Him in basketball shorts, like...
Oh, dude, just like a fucking slovenly fucking piece of... Like, just an absolute disgusting piece of shit. And, like, don't get me wrong, I like chilling him. I'm wearing basketball shorts right now, too. But I am sitting in my fucking apartment. I am not deciding to give unrestrained amounts of money in the chambers of power for Israel to just melt Palestinians 24/7. But yeah, so, dude, obviously, I'm sure all of us know about John Fetterman, big stupid oaf.
Who really sold himself as sort of like a progressive darling.
Yeah, he was like a Bernie guy in 2016. Bernie ended up like
we used to like him.
Yeah,
we used to talk about how cool we thought he was because he just like wore basketball shorts in the Senate. Like, that alone.
Well, this was pre-Senate. Yeah, this was pre-Senate.
Yeah, back when he was. What was he? A state senator, or was he?
He was a lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania.
Lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, yeah, and then he's running for Senate in 2022. And he's always been like weird. Obviously, he had like some progressive bona fides, but he was always bad on Israel. Just loves Israel. There's also the story of him. Which kind of came out while he was running for Senate, where he chased a black dude with a shotgun just for like running in his neighborhood. That happened in like a few years before he ran for Senate. So I believe that was one of the moments where it was like, this guy actually may not be that chill.
I mean, you can take the guy out of Pennsylvania, but you can't take Pennsylvania.
Well, he still lives in like Braddock, Pennsylvania, apparently. Old like mining town, or you know what I mean. Salt to the earth kind of shit.
And here's the thing, we love miners. We're not Evan particularly has a real intense love of miners.
Yeah, by miners you mean
he's been known to chat online with miners,
asking them
all sorts of questions. How old are you?
Are you wearing a shirt right now? And that
where
really
are
hot
you?
Mine? Yeah. How sweaty are you?
How deep is your shaft?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If I wanted to explore your hole, is that something that I'd be allowed to do?
Could you explore mine? I've been cultivating it. Yeah. Exactly. But no.
ERS miners.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
So
I actually think I have to call some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the cops are on the way. This is this is what we like to call a distraction.
I think I have to talk to my lawyer.
Yeah, I've turned you in. Don't worry. Don't fight back.
Okay.
Keep the.
I like the tone of that. All right,
keep the elephant cane where it where it is and just accept it.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I am quoting your text log with the minors.
Oh, you got a real glib tongue there. Okay. No, but anyway, so yeah, this guy's like I mean, fucking yeah. He's always been like pro fracking and shit like that too. So it's like a weird like amalgamation. But like very obviously a very he's got like working class like kind of bona fides. He's all tatted up and shit like that. He ugly as fucking sin. Like 6'8".
Yeah,
bald.
I mean he looks like Cro-Magnon man.
Yeah, dude, he looks like and he's shaped like
he
an
looks
ice
like
cream
a
cone.
Star Trek like humanoid alien.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
where it's
just
just like
give him
listen,
some forehead ridges.
we've only got the budget for like a little bit of face prosthesis.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a guy.
Yeah, just some forehead ridges and then like a couple earrings, and you've got yourself a fantastic episode in season 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Malthusian or whatever. They in their
The
society
Vunclumps.
Kings are like peasants and peasants are like kings. I don't know.
Yeah,
write something around
exactly.
that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yep. The Verklumps. Yes.
Yeah.
Naturally from the planet Verklump. But anyway, deep in the Alpha Quadrant. But so this guy, he's shaped like an ice cream cone. Like he's got the most fucking toothpick legs I've ever seen. It is so freaky. Yeah. Especially for a dude as massive as him.
He's a big fella.
Yeah, he's a big, 6'8". And so like,
he looks like his teeth are probably completely flat from grinding like seeds in the fields.
For some reason I thought you were gonna say like completely like soft or
he looks like his
his
teeth are soft to the touch and malleable.
Yeah, that you could press them.
No, he looks like he's
spill over your fingertip. Yeah,
he looks like he had room for his wisdom teeth, grew them in, and uses them regularly to eat raw and smoked meats.
Exactly. He looks like he would have a horizontal.
He has prehensile big toes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Grasping feet.
Yeah. Yeah, for sexual things. But anyway, so he has a fucking stroke like a day before the Democratic primary, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear that his brain is fucking toast.
Yeah, it's had some. I would have to assume that that's had something to do with like his, at least his like emotional, his the lowering of his emotional inhibitions.
Yeah. But
I mean, look, I've had people in my family who have had strokes, and that shit sucks. And like you can watch somebody struggle with like the lack of control, and so like on that front, it's like, look, it's not their fault, but he's in a position of like extreme authority, and you know, once shit like that, once that kind of volatility starts creeping in, it's like with Joe Biden, right? Yeah. It's like, listen, say what you will about Joe, but as soon as somebody starts fucking slipping like that, once you have your eyeballs randomly filling with blood,
dude, fucking just like when that shit just like popped on stage. Yeah, as he's rambling incoherently. Yeah, I know, it's so cool how awesome the Democrats are. But dude, there are some like amazing quotes. So this is like an article in New York Mag about like how he's gone completely insane with the Israel thing. I mean, this dude is like literally just saying disgusting shit like, no, we should kill them all.
Yeah.
Like, no, go back to the killing. No ceasefire, go back to the killing. Like, this dude is, like, more rabidly pro-Israel and, like, anti-Arab than, like, at least on the whole, the Republican Party. I'm sure there's still some Republican sickos that would make this gentleman blush. But, like this shit that he says, and dude, there are so many amazing quotes from this article. It's from his, like, former chief of staff is, like, the main fucking source. This dude, Adam Gentleson, I think, right, it's Adam Gentleson, yeah. Who's, like, clearly just trying to fucking... He's trying to save face here. Because, like, here's the thing. And I think this is one thing that the Democrats have realized when it comes to, like, Joe Biden and shit like that. Is that they look real bad by hiding this shit from people. Mm-hmm. And that, like... I like the people with Dianne Feinstein that just, like, held her issue... That just, like, hid her issues for fucking years. Obviously, like, not with John Fetterman's hiding them. Like, clearly they're realizing that, like, yeah, this is not good for their careers. I don't think they give a shit about the country, but that this is not good for their careers.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I mean, like, obviously John Fetterman, he beat that fucking, absolute twat Mehmet Oz, and then like happily was like voting for him, I think, for or like supported him for getting like, I don't know, some kind of nomination in the Trump administration. But oh yeah, brief aside, did you see RFK Jr. Swimming in sewage?
Yeah. Yeah, they said that spring is like riddled with E. coli.
Like literally, it's like.
Well, it makes me wonder how, like, because look, that's also the type of thing that I can see, like, left-leaning newspapers like exaggerating, like that. Yeah. That feels rife for like, inaccurate reporting from both sides.
Yeah, but no, this creek.
So
has,
I wonder
like,
how like nasty that water really was. And I'm not.
Oh no! Apparently,
him.
There's signs posted all around there saying the high bacteria.
And he does seem like the type of guy who would see that and be like, "That must mean it's the best water ever." Yep.
I'm gonna take the grandchildren swimming in there.
Yeah.
Like I could see him just thinking about this, like such like a little like Americana fucking. Like nostalgia. Oh yeah, granddad taking the kids to swim in the creek.
Yeah.
In like the 1960s or whatever. It's like, nah, dude, like you live in like the industrial fucking shithole. like this is just fucking DCs and just diarrhea and piss.
Yeah.
Running down this creek. So, like, I want to, like, look at this article. So the article is The Hidden Struggle of John Fetterman. And there are some choice quotes. The one that I'm just going to go to first, which is, like, way towards the end, because I think it really puts into fucking context how insane this is. Well, first of all, I will say this one. Yeah, so Fetterman talking about, like, this is him talking about Palestinians. You can't reform a carton of sour milk, Fetterman told Ben Ami, according to notes from the meeting, referring to the Palestinians. This is an Israeli that he was discussing, Jeremy Ben Ami, who is the leader of the progressive Jewish organization, J Street. So he says, you can't reform a carton of sour milk, Fetterman told Ben Ami, according to notes from the meeting, referring to the Palestinians. Fetterman said he did not believe in the two-state solution and claimed he had never met an Arab person who would condemn Hamas. Correction, the notes from the meeting stated, only a single Arab he has met with that staff was present for wouldn't outright condemn Hamas. Fetterman went on to make statements that shocked people. In opposing a ceasefire, he said, let's get back to killing. A person who heard the conversation told me, he said, kill them all. In a statement, Fetterman denied the account, adding any reference to killing was solely about Hamas, and I do support the destruction of that organization, down to its last member. But yeah, so anyway, like, this whole story is, like, mainly from his old chief of staff, like, Adam Jensen. And it's just about how Fetterman, after he had a stroke, he obviously went through his period where he got depression, like, right after going into the fucking into the Senate. He had to go to Walter Reed Hospital for like 6 weeks. They put him on like a bunch of meds. I mean, dude, there's so many crazy quotes from this about him, like just like going fucking like. I mean, dude, so many times it seems like he just like doesn't know where he is or whatever. There's one where he's at like a subway platform and he just starts walking into a group of people on the platform, and they got so concerned because they're like trying to like say something, and he was just like bowling into them. It's like nothing. There's one where he's like in his meeting. He's in a meeting and he like just goes. Like mentally, and he gets up and just starts walking in figure eights around his office, and just like muttering to himself. There's like apparently he famously is so bad at driving that none of his staff will get in the car with him because he zigs in and out of traffic at like on the highway at like they said well above the 70 miles per hour while like FaceTiming people and just like reading entire news articles while zigging and zagging in traffic. And this is how I want to get to this one. This is like an insane fucking part about this. All right, hold on. Let me find this here. All right, here we go. So, in May 2024, Jennelson decided it would be best to lay everything out there. I wanted to do what I could think of to try and get him help, he said. Mm-hmm. That's why I sent the letter, is basically sent a letter to him saying that he was stepping down as chief of staff. So he also said he worried that Fetterman could end up inadvertently hurting someone else. He engages in risky behavior, he wrote in the letter. He drives recklessly. He FaceTimes, texts, and reads entire news articles while driving. And I don't mean while stopped at a light or something. He reads and FaceTimes while driving at high speeds. Less than a month later, Fetterman caught a red-eye flight back from Los Angeles after taping an episode of the Bill Maher's show. Wow, what a fucking... That's a real genius symposium sitting there. And his staff urged him to have someone pick him up from the airport and drive him home. But he refused. Just before 8 a.m., according to a police report, Fetterman was traveling at, quote, well over the 70-mile-per-hour speed limit on the I-70 when he smashed his Chevy Traverse into the back of a 62-year-old woman's Impala, totaling both cars. Giselle, who is his, like, super hot wife, who had been in the back seat, suffered a pulmonary contusion and spinal fractures.
Jesus.
Fetterman, calling from the side of the road, told a staffer he had fallen asleep at the wheel and handed the phone to a police officer. It's a miracle no one died, the officer said. This dude, like, fucking could have, like, paralyzed or killed his fucking wife.
Yeah, or, like, any number of innocent bystanders. Or, like,
the old woman that he fucking, like, slammed into the back of.
Yeah.
And, like, his takeaway from all of this is, like, dude, he's, like, his wife is getting upset with him in some of the days and when this is happening. He's like, well, I guess I'm not talking to you today, and just, like, hangs up on her and shit. Like, there's one part where, like, she, like, goes into the office crying because she's like, why is he saying all these things about Palestinians and whatnot? She's like, he can't actually be thinking this. Like, he has to be getting pressure to do this, right? And the staffers were like, no, I'm sorry, we've been trying to get him to stop. And she's like, then there's no hope for him. Like,
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, there's like one part where like, I think it was before he goes to Walter Reed Hospital.
Yeah.
He was at like a Democratic Party retreat, and he's just like sitting there at a table by himself, like, drinking a Coca-Cola, and just literally refusing to allow anybody to come near him or like talk to him. Everybody's like, dude, what the fuck is with this guy's deal? This is like right after he like gets voted in.
Yeah.
And that's why they were like, yeah, we need to like, this guy needs to get seen by a doctor. And they're like, oh, dude, he's like dangerously dehydrated and like insane from his meds. Like, dude,
it's so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and like, there's got to be so many politicians that are like at least as bad, if not worse, in terms of just like their mental state.
I mean, dude, Dianne Feinstein by the end there, who was like actively having strokes.
She was
in
like,
a wheelchair,
like a quivering
half
husk.
of her face is like hanging down.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. Fucking Christ. Yeah. I mean, then there's like what? There's the. I mean, the Democrats are just like they're like so beyond parody. What they like. Obviously, it was AOC. She was running for that like do nothing committee or whatever that to be a committee chair. What was it earlier? And that guy, was it Connolly, who was in his 70s with fucking cancer, won the committee chair head over her, and now immediately had to step down because, like, yeah, my cancer's back. I'm literally dying right now.
I mean, it's just like the hardline, like party
Seniority,
leaders,
yeah,
are so dead set on like grasping their ghoulish, lich-like hands onto like the shreds of power. They refuse to let go of it, and it's like it literally feels like you're in CK3, dude. Like it feels like the grasping fucking regent, like, and you have to struggle and spend your fucking fame points or whatever to like take back control of your own kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like there was like David Hogg, dude, who like obviously everybody knows him. I'm sure he's the Parkland school shooting survivor who's become famous. And like he's like a totally tepid, like I would like, I guess progressive, whatever that means. But I mean, like he's a party boy. He like ran for like co-chair of the DNC, and he like won. He was like given the position, and then he goes out there and says that like basically like we need to like stop with the gerontocracy in the Democratic Party. If you are old and sick or whatever, we need to start primarying you, and we need to, if you're like a do nothing Democrat and whatever, we need to primary you. They fucking booted him.
Yeah.
From the chair, and like he had gone on like a show, I can't remember what, and he was basically saying, he was like, yeah, I mean, I talked to some of these Democrats who are in their 70s, and they're like, well, why would I step down? If I do, then my life is basically over. And it's like, kill yourself then.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
yeah, if it's not about the country, like I don't.
It's not about like the generations of people that have to live with your policies.
Go hang out in your fucking Cape
Go play
Cod
shuffleboard, you
like,
fucking old piece of shit.
What do you mean your life's over? Like, go hang out in your fucking vacation home.
You're probably rich as fuck.
Don't lie to us. We know you've got one. Insider trading and shit. We all know you've got the money.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. Like if you're a politician, especially a career politician, and you leave office not rich, you are clearly not doing it right, or you're trying to do it right in the way that I would actually say. But I'm way less willing to believe that anybody has scruples than that they're just bad at the grift.
Yeah.
You know,
Joe Biden was pretty bad at. He was about the worst you could be for a guy who got to his position, right?
Yeah.
Like he was like not that rich of a guy in power. I mean, corrupt as hell. It was just like he was just like a career doofus. Like, yeah.
Famous for putting his foot in his mouth.
Yeah.
Just like what's his name?
Always willing to sell out, but never for much.
Right.
Like, well.
Yeah, he didn't have the sense that God gave a gnat.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and then, so I really like, so this like Fetterman article came out. I mean, there's like other crazy shit in this. It's just like, it is nonstop. Like,
where he's like banging on the table and fucking making his staffers cry.
Yep.
And it's just like, what the fuck is going on with
he's
this guy?
He's supposed to get his blood drawn like at least once a month or something like that constantly, and he just refuses to let it happen because they need to make sure, like, they don't trust him to take his drugs. And like, as part of your release, we're doing blood tests on you to make sure those drugs are in your system.
Right.
And he just like stops doing it, and every time he stops doing it is when he just starts going off the deep end. Dude, the part where he like nearly walked into people on like a subway platform. Like and they basically describe it as like a bowling ball. Oh yeah, there's another part where he's just wandering around the middle of a road in traffic, and they have to like wrangle him back in. Like, dude.
I mean, like, honestly though, like Chuck Schumer probably loves that guy because he can just say like, all right, John, you need to vote this way.
Yeah, literally, that's in this article.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's just, you can.
They say they were like, listen, like the reason we like him is because as they say, I mean, I think there's other reasons to it, but they're like, yeah, he's like Joe Manchin. He's a safe blue vote in a red state, in an unsafe state, and so it's like that's why we like him, even though Joe Manchin always votes against the Democrats and whatnot. But
is Joe Manchin even still in office?
I don't think he is anymore.
No, he's done, right?
Yeah, I thought so.
And what's her name? The other one, Kirsten Sinema. Sinema. She got voted out.
Yeah, retired politician Joe Manchin. Oh, he just retired literally this year, yeah. Yeah, Kirsten Sinema, finally got kicked out. She lost her re-election. But yeah, no, they people are literally saying it's like, listen, we don't really want to go after him because he's a safe blue vote in an unsafe blue state, right? Like, it's not really a blue state. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, dude, it's like so fucking crazy, like all of this. But yeah, so then anyway, so like this article comes out, and yeah, there's just like a lot of insane shit in it. Oh yeah, there was like immediately after winning his 2022 race, he apparently like immediately started to unravel because he had taken money from FTX and he was worried that he was gonna like go to jail for it or like lose his seat.
Yeah.
Which it should have, but everybody did, but he was like so scared about like being fucking like tied to like crypto scams and shit like that. There's other ones where like he went and like at times he went insane and literally thought that like the police were on their way to arrest him. Like he like kept talking about how he was being like basically was saying he's being gang stalked and shit like that.
Right.
But like also like about the authorities and shit like that. It's like, dude, do you have something to hide?
I feel like I've been getting a lot of like gang stalking content on Instagram. It's exclusively completely insane people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it's clearly like a thing that like you only believe in if you are having a schizoid episode.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah, because it's not like gang stalking isn't like you're under surveillance by like
right. It's just like everyone's out to get me.
There's just like a shadowy cabal of regular people who have decided fuck you in your life.
That like me, this random guy from fucking middle America is like worth fucking trailing and surveilling at all times.
Yeah.
The Domino's guy, when he comes to deliver my pizza, I fucking know. I fucking know it's him, dude.
Yeah, he's on the company dime there, yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, this article's so good. I mean, it's behind a paywall, but there's ways to read that. Otherwise, I guess probably shouldn't say that.
Well, she was sensitive. She understood me. She understood the European things from 1943. But she does all these things that I can't stand. I get jealous. She stays with another man. She cries. I'm sad, but I won't. Oh, she cries. I'm hurt. You're right. Oh, well, she cried. I won't. She did these things that I thought she'd self-destroy. Necessary to our self-enjoy. I self-develop. Necessary to our self-help. She cries. I'm sad, but I won't. That's right. She cries. I'm hurt. Alright. Oh, well, she cried. I won't. She did this that I thought she'd eat garbage, eat shit.
But whatever.
Shouldn't say that. Hey, just so you guys know, if you're sick of paying for all your music, there's a way that you can download it for free. Now, technically, it's illegal, but maybe we shouldn't discuss it on it.
Well, I'm just saying we, you know what I mean. We also do use music on our
It's the
podcast,
pirate's life for me. I'm sure it's not Pirate Bay anymore, but remember the good old days?
Yeah.
Before, like, streaming music was just, like, so cheap that it didn't matter. And,
dude, I would literally just search, like whatever album I want, site:megaupload.com, and you could get fucking, like, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the, you remember the days of metal blog spots? Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
When dudes were just like seeding shit on their like review blogs. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. I found dude, back in the day, man, my iPod was cooler than any music I've had since. And you had a fucking awesome iPod.
Yeah, dude. I had a 120 gig iPod loaded to the gills, a whole 120.
With just like tech death, dude.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, just like brutal fucking
random stuff. I remember, dude. Yeah, driving with you, because by that point, by the time we even met, I was on like one of the little tiny small ones. But even still, I still have that somewhere, and I charged it up before I lost all the cables to even do that. And there was some awesome shit on there that I hadn't heard in years. Like, but yeah, I remember driving around with you, and just your iPod was awesome. Yeah, you had so much stuff on there.
Yeah, there was a while too that I had the fucking like brick iPod.
Yeah,
too, like the old one.
Yeah, the one that like
clicked.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was like
I had a Gen 1 iPod
Yeah.
when they came out.
Yeah,
It got
exactly.
stolen.
This thing was like a centimeter thick.
Yeah.
And I remember like being in a college class one day, like about to like listen to music or whatever, and I heard some dude behind me go, "Jesus Christ, how old is that iPod?" It was in like 2010 or 2011 or something like that. But yeah, I had that one, and then and then I had my what was it? I forget what they were called, the iPod, the 120 gig ones or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I had many hours worth of searching blog spots and mega upload for just like the most like just like decrepit birth style shit, but like even like way like shit that like is barely even on Encyclopedia Medlum.
Right.
No.
Yeah, it was that was the thing. It was like back then it was I feel like I had access to in a weird way. Because I'm sure all those obscure bands are on Spotify and stuff, but in a weird way, I felt more connected to way more underground shit.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I was constantly searching for it.
Yeah.
I was actively seeking out music I'd never heard before. And I think part of that is, like, pretty normal, like, when you're 16 or 17, or even, 22 versus, when you're in your 30s and you crave the comfort of, like, what is known and familiar. But, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I still try to replicate that sometimes and, like, go out of my way to be like, all right, like, what's new? Like, what's kicking around? And I'll go through spurts where I'm pretty good about it. But back then, it was just, like, I don't know. I would spend days.
Oh, dude, every night
days.
I would be, like, looking for shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, the blog spots.
And it was before, like, social media or whatever, so it was not about, like... showing off that you knew, like it was literally just like I wanted.
FM. Yeah, there was Last FM, and I was a big Last FM guy.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah,
I never got into it.
Oh yeah, just having like somebody 20 times nerdier than you just tell you about how much of a poser you are because because you've got like a few listens by like fucking I don't know like
Trivium
All
or
That
some shit.
Remains or something.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you hear that? So I went to that fucking show.
Yeah, Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine. I can't believe Bullet for My Valentine is a thing in 2020.
Luckily, they were closing, so I didn't stay for 1 second of that.
Wait, what?
They were alternating who was
yeah, they do that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sets, because it was like a co-headlining tour. And so everybody else that I was with was like bummed out. They're like, oh man, I was hoping Trivium would play that. I was like, not me, dude. I'm trying to dip. And I don't even care about Trivium really, but like whatever. Like I have more of a history with them that those first couple albums I did like when I was a teenager in like high school. And if there are songs of theirs that I still dig, it's that first, or I guess that's their second album. And that's what they were playing, right? So it's like, all right, that's fine. Like, if they played 10 songs in their set, like 4 of them I thought were pretty sick. Like 4 or 5 of them I thought were pretty sick. And they're good live and whatever. They do have like a tacky fucking, his whole shtick live is really tacky. I want you guys to know you are the best East Coast show we've seen. And it's like, all right, man, I'm fucking all set with this. But
corporate trivia.
Yeah, it's very strange. It didn't feel like a metal show at all. But I digress. I was in good company with some friends of ours and had a really nice time. But so there's drama on that tour. They're not doing it anymore. The dude from Bullet for My Valentine, who's also named Matt, I think, they had like planned to do a world tour. So they did some UK dates, they did the US dates, and they had started booking already, and they had like blocked off their year 2025 to tour South America and Asia. Yeah. And then like at the tail end of the US tour, the dude from Bullet is like, yeah, actually I don't want to do that. And so Paolo from Trivium like went right online and was like, this dude sucks ass. Fucking we literally like it was already like in the planning stages, money's invested, like fuck him. That shit sucks. And so then there was all these like limp wrist dorks online because like let's be real, like, and I exclude any of my personal friends who are invested in either of these bands, but I will say as a general rule, if you're that invested in either of those bands, it's like a tough look. And especially Bullet for My Valentine, super tough look.
Dude, yeah. Even when
I don't care
first
about
getting into metal and I listened to other metalcore, I was like, fuck that shit.
And dude, there's still plenty of stuff that like other people would make fun of that I still like and am unashamed of. Like, I still think that the first couple Killswitch Engage albums rule. Like, metalcore was like a big part of my teens. Like,
Oh yeah, dude. I even liked shit. Like, there was that one like As I Lay Dying album, that like Christian metalcore band that I really like. Yeah.
Dude, on that same tour,
and Ocean Between Us or something like that.
That was a good album.
Yeah.
Some of their shit is fine. That dude's like an attempted murderer or something. So
he was
tried to hire a hitman,
void raging, and he tried to hire a guy he had met at his gym, just like a rando, as a hitman, and it was an undercover cop.
Yeah. But so at that same show, August Burns Red played, and you know what, dude? They fucking ruled. I would see them on a headlining date, and I never would have thought I would see that now. Like, I never would have thought that I would have said that, but like after seeing them open for Trivium, they were the highlight of that fucking show. That was one of the heaviest sets I've ever seen in my life.
I never really dug them, but I would definitely see them. That's like one of those bands that's right there. It's like, yeah, dude, fuck it.
If you can get a ticket for $30 and like they're playing some decent club, I would see them again because they fucking brought it and like fuck it, you know what I mean? Some of that shit's heavy. So I'm not some purist, but like Bullet for My Valentine does suck ass, and they just like there's like this weird drama between two like kind of has-been early aughts.
I mean, at this point,
bands.
they're basically like butt rock. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
They're like not even really metal anymore.
And they've both been trying to put out like radio-friendly shit for years, but they can't figure it out. Yeah. And while also it's because they're. I feel like once Metallica did that and did it successfully, the doors closed on that.
Yeah.
Like they did it, they cracked the code, but even with them, like it upset people. Yeah. And it's like metal fans are not going to be. They're not going to be fucking tricked again.
Yeah, exactly.
After Metallica, like metal fans will not be tricked again, and that just remains true.
Yeah, and also it's tough to write Enter Sandman a second time. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, dude. I stand by the Black Album. That's the fucking album.
God, that album sucks, dude.
Nah, man, I loved it when I was like 12, and I don't know. I have some nostalgic love for it. Everything up through like Load. Yeah. I have some nostalgic love for it.
I'm also hard on Metallica. It's like I think they have one like perfect album, which is Kill 'Em All, and I think Ride Lightning's really good. And then I literally don't give a shit about anything else they've ever done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I have a pretty
like Kill 'Em All is like a 10-10 fucking like all time.
Yeah. I think I actually like Ride and Master more than I like Kill 'Em All, but I those three are. Still occasionally. I don't listen to any of it that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I listen to Kill 'Em All still a decent amount. I mean, the thing is, like, you can hear the Dave Mustaine in that, and, like, Dave Mustaine was the one who was really, like...
Yeah.
I think just the combination of him and, like, Hetfield, obviously, like, they really just, like, some, like, alcohol-fueled fucking...
I think in an alternate universe where those dudes continued on, that would be the coolest fucking band of all time. But I think you can't have two... dudes of that caliber of personality in the same band.
Yeah, they would have killed each other.
Yeah, it just wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah.
But then I mean, all that shit, like it's all those bands put out fucking lame albums. Megadeth put out lame albums. Slayer put out you just can't you can't ask people to like still be, dude, even now, like, not that I'm doing anything musically that matters, but like the shit that I think that I would want to write now is so different than when we met. Like, you know what I mean? It's why old dudes always start like fucking doom bands and noise bands. Your tastes change. Like, you know what I mean? You don't hear a lot of like 35 to 45-year-old dudes like starting thrash bands. Like, it just isn't the fucking vibe anymore. I will say I was listening. Testament recently released remixed and remastered their first bunch of albums because those famously sound like absolute shit. And Testament rules. Some of those old Testament albums are fucking sick.
Just think back to Sacred Reich fucking playing that show.
Okay.
They haven't even written music in like 20 years.
Yeah,
and we're just going to keep playing. We're just going to keep playing the same songs that we played 20 years ago. And it was just like one of the most like unbelievable sets I've ever seen.
We had a really good time seeing Sacred Reich. That was
and I barely even had known who they were at the time, and I was just sitting there.
I only knew a couple tracks. I knew Surf Nicaragua and like a couple other songs, and
And I listen to them all the time at the gym.
Yeah.
I did, and I will again, but...
Yeah, they're great. Anyway, I don't even know what kicked that off. Just, the drama between the fucking metalcore bands that nobody cares about. But, I don't know. I still like that stuff. Some of it still rings true for me. Some of it I go back and I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I used to listen to this. Like, I don't know, a lot of those bands. But
anyway, I gotta make some dinner. So
we gotta have a pork chop.
Yeah, I gotta make pork chop, a little side salad. Let's fucking go, baby.
What else is gonna be in there? I know there's gonna be something else in there. What else is gonna be in there?
It's just gonna be. If I had avocado, I would put an avocado.
What about a little rice? You want to have a little rice?
No, it's just gonna be like a little side salad, some olives, some feta, probably just it, and then like some nice oil dressing over like mixed greens, and I'll do a little pork chop.
What about a little vinegar? Are you just gonna do olive oil?
Yeah, just olive oil.
You don't?
No, not olive oil. It's like an oil-based, vinaigrette.
Okay.
No.
Aren't all vinaigrettes oil-based?
I guess so, yeah. But it's
but
just like it's
oil and vinegar because that's where vinaigrette comes from. It's oil and vinegar.
It's pre-made. I'm not making the.
So it's store-bought dressing is what you're trying to say in a weird way, which is fine. I don't know why you would dance around that.
I wasn't trying to say that it wasn't that.
You know what I've realized is the best salad dressing of all time for 99% of the salads.
What?
So I watched my sister's mother-in-law, who's a nice lady.
Yeah.
Old school Italian lady. And my sister, one time we were like all together for like a dinner party. And she was like, watch the way she dresses a salad. It's so simple, but just like, it's all I can do now. Literally just like good olive oil.
Yeah.
Like spend a little money. Not the stuff you would use to cook, but like stuff you have on the shelf, which I now do. I have separate olive oil on the shelf for when I want to make a salad or like whatever. And that red wine vinegar and just start with a little bit of both, some salt, some pepper. That's it. And just fucking fold it in. Look at it and then just like go and go and go. And like, dude, it is literally like, it just doesn't fucking get better than that. There's nothing I've bought at the store that's better than like good fresh red wine vinegar or whatever, any kind of vinegar, but like honestly, red wine fucks. Good olive oil, salt and pep, dude. Like it it slaps.
Oh yeah. I usually just buy like whatever like bougie ass like glass bottle, just like basically just like oil with like some spices in it and the vinegar, and then I don't know, it might be like a little cheese and something like that, but nothing too crazy.
Little cheese in there, dude. A little fucking Parmesan, maybe some gold flakes for His Majesty.
Goldschlager, dude.
Listen,
so they cut your throat when you drink it. You get more fucking drunk.
There's only one king in this fucking podcast, and that's me.
Yeah,
the emperor of the mole people.
Molcam.
Anyway, so
all right,
to circle back to that, that's something that you guys should keep on the lookout for in the coming months. I would, if you live anywhere near a tectonic fault line, and you're one of our listeners, particularly if you are a Patreon supporter, which we'll talk about in a moment, I would suggest evacuating the area immediately because my albino,
like the horde in Gears of War,
my albino fucking mutant tumor-ridden mole hordes will be ushering forth from fissures in the Earth's crust to reclaim what was once theirs, and pretty soon you'll all be Patreon subscribers to me in a certain light. You know, all hail.
We're getting there. Yeah, that's right. So that's right. If you would like to join the hordes of mole vermin army soldiers, whatever, erupting from the earth with their lord, well then, the king of the mole people, you can go to patreon.com/leftunread, and you can go there. You can sign up for a small monthly amount to help keep the podcast going. If you are using an Apple product, do not go through the Apple app. You'll be charged an extra 30%. Open up that web browser, open up Safari, close those tabs you've had open since 2019. That is a recipe that you've never, ever even tried because you don't even know how to cook. Well, you can.
Because nobody even likes bullies. Like
you. Dance, motherfucker. But yeah, so you can close those tabs, and you can close all that vor porn, all that yaoi, all of the strange baby fetish and what's the containment stuff. Yeah, you can close all that. You don't need it. You've busted long ago. You can go to patreon.com/leftunread. You can bust your dollars into our bank account. That's right. And if you can't do that, you can support us another way. You can rate and review us on your favorite podcast app of choice. That helps us get boosted in the algorithm. Helps us find new listeners. And you can also help us spread by word of mouth. You can tell your legions of adoring mole fans. You can tell your mother. You can tell your father. Normal people too. Or you can tell your little sepid mole tower boys that you use in the sulfur pits about us. And without further ado, I suppose we can get the fuck out of here.
But what you wouldn't do is buy a mole person a horse.
You wouldn't do that, no. That was metaphorical, but,
Yeah.
Because Elon Musk did that for a woman that he just wanted to get jacked off on a plane.
Yeah. Well.
Allegedly.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, I'm turning it off now. Let's go.
Exciting
Peace.
edition of Left Unread.
You've got me, girl, on the run round, got me all around town. You've got me, girl, on the run round, and it's getting me down, Lady, if you wanna find a lover, then you look no further, for I'm gonna be your only. Searching at the start of the season, and my only reason is that I'll get you. Close